नमश्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Namaste children, welcome to today's storytelling time. Today I am going to take one of the famous quote of Swami Vivekananda. Can you guess what that quote could be? Yes, children, you are right. Unselfishness is God by Swami Vivekananda. I repeat, unselfishness is God by Swami Vivekananda. I thought, let me take few interesting incidents from the life of Swami Vivekananda and correlate with this quotation. By now, you must be familiar with the childhood name of Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath Datta, and he was fondly called as Naren by his friends and relatives. Now, let me take a childhood incident of Naren. Naren lived in a big house at Calcutta, and during those days, sannyasins used to pass through his house, and they used to visit many holy places by singing bhajans, glories of gods, and they carried very little things with them. So, the householders used to give them some food or some dresses to them as they used to pass by. So, whenever Naren used to hear the bhajans of sannyasins, he understood that sannyasins are coming to his house, are going to pass through his house. So, he quickly used to run into his house and take some clothes and bring it out and give it to them. And the sannyasins will happily receive them and bless this little Naren and pass on. His mother was watching all this. His mother thought, oh, this Naren is giving even the new clothes. So, next time when the mother heard the voice of the sannyasin singing the glories of God and coming near their house, do you know what the mother did? She quickly pulled Naren. Naren asked, Ma, what are you doing, Ma? Mother said, come Naren, we'll go upstairs. And quickly pulled him upstairs and pushed him inside the room and locked Naren inside the room. Naren understood. But still Naren wanted to help those sannyasins. He was just thinking and looking this side and that side. Suddenly an idea came to him. Quickly he opened the windows and whatever was there inside that room, those dresses, he took it and dropped through the window. This incident shows that Swami Vivekananda, even as a little child, he was unselfish. The next incident took place when he was little grown up. He had lot of friends. Naren used to play lots of games, indoor games, outdoor games, like that. He had interest in games and he had a team with him. He was a team leader, in fact. One day, they were in a gymnasium club and they were trying to set up a trapeze. And a crowd of people were watching how these boys are setting up the trapeze. Naren looked at one English sailor. He was tall and well built. So, Naren called that English sailor for help. That English sailor also nodded his head and immediately started helping these boys in setting up the trapeze. But unfortunately, the trapeze fell on him and he became unconscious and fainted. All the boys got scared. Oh, gone! This man is dead. Immediately they flew away from that place. Do you think Naren also would have left that place? No, never. He and one or two friends were with him. Immediately he tore off one piece of his dhoti and put some band-aid for that fainted soldier. He sprinkled some water on his face and gently fanned him. Slowly that sailor was getting a little bit of conscious, and immediately they took him to the nearby schoolhouse and called for a doctor. And the person in charge for the gymnasium club were also informed about this incident. Then the sailor was admitted in the hospital. After a week he became alright. But Naren did not stop with that. He collected some money, little amount of money, and gave to the sailor. This incident again shows how unselfish Naren was. At his own risk, though he knew there may be some punishment or there might be some risk, he didn't run away from that place. He wanted to help that sailor immediately. This shows Swamiji's unselfishness. The third incident took place when he was in his college days. He had a classmate called Haridas. Haridas could not pay the college dues, and he was also unable to pay the examination fee. So he was telling Naren that he won't be able to write the examination as he has not paid the examination fee. Immediately Naren thought of helping his classmate. So he went to the office, college office, and Rajkumar was in charge for that. He approached Rajkumar and told him that Haridas could not pay the examination fee and asked him to be exempted from paying the fees and be allowed to write the examination. And he also promised that Haridas would bring a very good name for the college. But Rajkumar did not agree. He told Naren, "It is none of your business. I will not allow Haridas to write the exam unless and otherwise he pays the fees." Haridas became very sad. But however, Naren told Haridas not to get disappointed. He told, "Somehow I'll try to help you in this matter." Then Naren started to think. He knew about Rajkumar that he had one bad habit. He had the habit of going to opium smoking den in the night time. After the sunset, when it gets little darker, this man Rajkumar had the habit of going to that place. So that day, Naren also, all alone, silently, before Rajkumar came, went and hid himself in that place. As usual, Rajkumar, after the sunset, after it became little darker, he slowly started going to that place. All of a sudden, Naren came and stood before Rajkumar. Rajkumar was shocked, stunned, but he didn't want to show in front of Naren. He tried to manage and he asked Naren, "Naren, why are you here? You should not be in this place." Naren told Rajkumar, "I've come here again to plead with you. Please allow that Haridas to write the examination. He cannot pay the fees. But if you don't allow him, I will make this bad habit public to the college. I will publicize your bad conduct in the college." Now Rajkumar understood. He told, "Naren, cool down. I don't see, that's not a matter at all. That's not a problem at all. You don't worry about Haridas. He will write the examination." This is Swami Vivekananda. When Swamiji decides that he has to help someone, if one method does not work out, he thinks of the alternative method in what else way we can help that person. So this type of unselfishness we must learn from Swamiji's life. Next, Naren meets his master, his guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was taking training under him. One day, Naren approaches his guru and tells him his wish. Naren says to his guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa that he wants to be immersed in eternal bliss. He wants to think of God, only about God, God alone and nothing else. So he asked his guru for his blessings. Do you know what the guru said? Do you know what the guru told? No, Naren. Don't stop with this, Naren. Don't think only about your own salvation. Go beyond that. You have something greater than that. You have a greater message to be given to this world. You must be like a banyan tree. Naren understood this message. As you all know, in later years, Swami Vivekananda preached Vedanta to the whole world. This incident again shows the unselfish attitude of Swami Vivekananda. After the passing away of his guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Narendranath Datta decides to become a monk. He takes up the monastic name as Swami Vivekananda. Now Swamiji thinks, I must do something for my country. For my country people, I have to contribute something to them. So he decides, let me first travel and speak to those people. So he decides to travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. He decides to travel. This period is called as Pravrajika period, a wandering monk. During this time, Swamiji visits Maharashtra. There, he stays as a guest monk in a middle class family. During that time, a small baby was born in that house. And this baby's mother used to do all the household work in the morning. And during the night time when the mother was about to sleep, do you know what this child will do? What will this baby will do? It will start crying. And the poor mother will wake up. Swamiji was observing all this. He told their family members, please give the child to me. First the family members hesitated. They thought it will disturb Swamiji's meditation. But Swamiji insisted that the child must be given to him. So the mother hesitatingly put the child in Swamiji's lap. Do you know what happened? The moment the child was put on Swami's lap, happily the child slept. Sound sleep it had, no cry at all. This went on not for 1 day or 2 days. It went on as long as Swamiji stayed as a guest monk in that house. Maybe a small help, but still it counts. This again shows the unselfishness of Swamiji. Next, you all know that Swamiji visits Western countries. He gives a famous speech there, and listening to his lectures, many become his disciples. And one such famous disciple was Sister Nivedita. She listens to Swamiji's speech, Swamiji's lecture in England. And then she decides that she must come to India and serve India. So she asked her guru, Swami Vivekananda, whether she can come to India and serve India. First, Swamiji hesitated. He told her it may be difficult. A Westerner coming to Eastern country, she may have to come out of the comfort zone. But finally, Swamiji gives permission to Sister Nivedita to come to India. When she comes to India, Swamiji trains her intensively. Not only Swami Vivekananda was selfish, but he trained his disciples also to be unselfish and serve people in an unselfish way. This is very important. This point we have to learn. He trained his disciples so well that all his disciples were also unselfish. Next, I want to end with a very interesting incident which took place at the last days of Swami Vivekananda. After touring Western country, Swamiji returns to India and he starts the famous Mutt, Sri Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission at Belur, West Bengal. There, he started giving lectures to the would-be monks, brahmacharis. During that time, even the householder disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, whenever they used to get time, they used to come and listen to Swamiji's lectures. And one such disciple was Girish Chandra Ghosh. He was a popular dramatist of that time. He was a well-known person in West Bengal theatre. He was a playwright. He acted as a hero, he acted as a villain, everything he was. So people knew about him well. So Girish Ghosh also one day came to listen to Swamiji's lecture, as he was a direct disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He listened to Swami's lectures very quietly, and Swamiji was teaching them about Brahman, the attributes of Brahman, the qualities of Brahman. In a high philosophical note, he was teaching to the brahmacharis. Girish Ghosh listened very silently, very quietly to all this, and finally he told Swamiji that he has a question to ask him. Swamiji said, ask Girish, what question you want to ask me. Girish then stood up in his own style, in a dramatic way, started describing about the dreadful disease called plague. It was prevalent in West Bengal that time. He started describing how people were dying out of this plague and how people were starving out of poverty. And then he asked Swamiji, is there any answer in your Vedanta for all this? Swamiji could not listen anymore. He silently stood, walked away from that place, went to his room, locked his room, and he started weeping for those people. This is Swami Vivekananda. He had that feelings. He felt for the suffering people. So he was able to say, unselfishness is God. As children, you may wonder why Swamiji said unselfishness is God. Yes, he could see God inside himself. He could see God inside others. So he told unselfishness is God. Now coming to the take-home message. What is the message we learn from this? We have to think practically how unselfish we also can be. In so many ways we can be unselfish. If you are youngsters, if you are very strong, you can do a lot of physical activities. Especially in this coronavirus time, lot of service is required. You can see so many organizations doing lot of service to the people. If you are physically strong, you join in that service activity. Whatever service you can do, some physical activity, physical service you try to do. If you're financially strong, you can give some financial help, or even a storytelling like this may give some values to others. Even that can be a help, a mental help, or it can be even an intellectual help. You can read lot of good books. You can write books. You can publish books which will give values to others. In coming generations, it will help. Or it can be a spiritual help. But remember, we must help others in the unselfish way as told by Swami Vivekananda. I would like to thank Vivekananda Cultural Center for giving me an opportunity to share a story with you. Before I end, let us all close our eyes and pray to the Holy Trinity in this crucial period. May God bless us all to get rid of this coronavirus very soon. People are suffering all over the globe and they are fearing about this coronavirus. Let us all pray together that we must get rid of this disease very soon and we must start our routine life, our usual life, our normal life must come back to us soon, and we must all go back to school and enjoy our school life once again as before. May the Holy Trinity be with us always. Bless us always. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpana Namastu. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma.
Dear children, Namaste. I hope you're enjoying the videos that we have posted on our YouTube channel so far. If you have any queries on morals, on values, or if you have any doubts on religious practices, you can post your queries to our email ID, that is office@rkmmbcc.org, and we will answer your queries through our YouTube channel. Thank you. Thanks. Namaste.